Hi, it's Andy, and today I'm bringing you my February wrap-up. Yes, hello, it's me, stranger, but you haven't seen this face in a while. I did not mean to take as much of a break as I did, but it's been really nice not worrying about doing videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I've not even done a February wrap-up, and I've not done my March TBR, so here we go. We're starting off with the February wrap-up. I just want to point out just now, because somebody may notice and may say something, but I am not wearing my wedding ring because I have dislocated my knee, my left knee, and because of that I'm on crutches, and I think just having like the way I'm using the crutches and stuff like that has made my hands swell up so much that I had to take my ring off because it was getting stuck, like really badly stuck, and it was like cutting off the circulation and stuff. So until I can get my fingers to stop swelling, I've taken it off just so I don't end up having to go to the hospital and get it cut off. So that's why I'm not wearing it. Nothing else has happened. Don't worry. In the month of February, I read 16 books, which I'm really happy with. At first I was disappointed because I read 17 in January, but February's a shorter month, so one less book is, I mean, even reading one book would have been great, but like, I was on a roll, apparently. Yeah, so 16 books, and I DNF'd one book. The book that I DNF'd is actually Love Checks In, which was my TBR, Kindle TBR jar pick. I am finding that I'm not doing very well with the TBR, the Kindle TBR. There's a lot of them that I'm just not enjoying. So yeah, annoyed at myself for, to be fair, I think the ones I'm not enjoying are the ones that I picked from Stuff Your Kindle days, because the ones that I specifically paid money for are ones from authors that I know, and these random ones I think I got on Stuff Your Kindle days, so I'm not too worried. I mean, if I'd paid 99p, I paid 99p, it's not a problem, but it's just a shame that I'm not enjoying them. Love Checks In was kind of like, not like the wake up call, but kind of, it's not, I'm trying to explain it. So basically this girl works at this holiday thing that her grandparents left her, or I don't know if one of her grandparents is still alive or they're both still alive but just retired, and this big developer comes in and wants to take over the land, and she's basically like, up yours. But her and the developer, like guy that's supposed to have come in and tried to talk around, they end up together, I'm assuming. I did not get very far in this book. I did not like the writing style at all. Like, I immediately disliked both the characters, and I was like, I'm not interested in this. I know exactly how it's going to go. I'm not interested in continuing the story, so I just didn't. Now on to what I actually read in the month of February. So first, out of order because I didn't read these together, but it doesn't really matter, it's worth talking about them together, are books 2 and 3 in the Themis files. So that is Waking Gods and Only Human. Book 1 is Sleeping Giants. I actually listened to these as audios, because the audiobook was so interesting, and I loved this trilogy. Like, I did not know where it was going to go at the end of the first book, but I love these. Like, I love these. These were great. I'm really enjoying this kind of sci-fi, like, where it's not like big space opera battle, Star Wars, Star Trek type thing. I like this sort of sci-fi where it's humans finding technology, or humans going to space for the first time, or like, this is, I suppose, the first contact, but kind of. If you've read it, you know what I mean. And not in a sense of like, I don't know, it's just this type of sci-fi I absolutely love. I love both of them. I thought they were great, and I would be really interested in reading more of Sylvain Neuvel's. I've been calling him Sylvain. It's Sylvain Neuvel's books. Yeah, so if you're into sci-fi, if you like First Contact sci-fi, if you like science sci-fi, I would definitely recommend these. Next, I read one of the books I've been so looking forward to, and that is Unloved by Peyton Corinne. This follows 2 of the characters we meet in Unloved. Obviously that's how these romance things go, like the romance companion novels. And this takes us back to before we even meet them. Like, I was expecting it to be afterwards, but we go way back to the start of college where they first meet, and then actually going through stuff that happened through Unloved and seeing it from their perspective and seeing how they are coping behind the scenes and what they're doing behind the scenes. And I absolutely love this. This does follow a girl who is in a quite abusive relationship. So it's referred to as, they refer to themselves as on again, off again. But realistically, it's him being an abusive knob and her just kind of putting up with it. But I love this. This was so nuanced. This was so beautiful. I love Peyton Corinne's writing. I will literally read whatever she writes. Although she scared me recently because on Threads she's like, I'm going to make this one devastating, this next one like more devastating. And I'm like, girl, why? But yeah, this is again your standard hockey romance. He needs to be tutored. She's his tutor. They become friends. Love it. And then I read, here we go. That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. These titles are always really long and I can never remember which one's which. So this follows, again, a character we have met in the previous ones and finding his mate. Again, this is funny. This is just, I can't praise these books enough. I think these are absolutely hilarious and so fun and so funny and just absolute, like, perfection. I genuinely, these books are just, if you want a funny good time with a lot of smut, these books are what you need. And then after that, because I wasn't quite willing to like let go of the fact that that's the last kind of book in the series, I also read Mistletoe by Kimberly Lemming. This novella is a short little snippet where we meet two characters we have never met before, and the female main character wants to deal with, so her dad has done something wrong and the demon that lives in the area has cursed him, and so she goes to speak to the demon to be like, you need to uncurse my dad, like, I'm sorry, it's never affected me, please uncurse him. And the demon's like, okay, how about you go to a ball with me and pretend you're my mate? And she's like, excuse me? It's like, yeah, you do this for me, I will uncurse your dad. And so they go to this ball, shenanigans happen. This is quite possibly the most shenanigan-y of these books, like, I swear. But again, so much fun. Absolutely. Kimberly Lemming is unbelievable. I love her writing and I think she's just, I want to be friends with her. And then I started my reread of Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This is book 1, obviously. Crazy Rich Asians. I can never say it fast. I think it's because of my accent. I don't know. You try say it and tell me. But yeah, this book follows Rachel, who is a Chinese American, and she's from a quite not unprivileged background. Like, yes, like her mum had to work multiple jobs, they moved quite a lot, and her mum sort of brought herself up in the world. And Rachel is a professor, I think at NYU. It might be a different university, it doesn't really matter. But there she is met and is in a relationship with Nicholas Young. And Nicholas invites her back to Singapore to go to his friend's wedding with him. And she's like, cool, go to Singapore, meet his family, meet his friends, go to a wedding, I'll be chill. And then turns out Nicholas isn't just like a regular guy, he's like stupid rich. Like, there's like rich people, there's like ultra rich people, and then there's like crazy rich people. Like crazy rich, like these people do things unlike any other. And then there's Nick's family. They're like the grand dame of rich in Singapore. Old money. And Rachel's thrown into a world that she has no idea how to deal with. But again, the shenanigans. There is a bit in here that I was a bit like I forgot about it. I must have like blanked it out, and I was like, because there's one of the characters is a horrible, awful person, and like he's meant to be a horrible, awful person. But one of the things he does just absolutely disgusts me. But other than that, I love this book. I love the series. I can't wait to continue my reread. And then I started a new series because again, I don't know why I've just decided to start all the series, is Consider Me by Becca Mack. This is the first in a 4-part series, and this follows Carter Beckett, who is an NHL player. I think he's the captain of the team, but he's also a massive, and I mean humongous boy. Like, he is the yeah. There was actually a point in this where I was like, I don't know if I can actually get along with this character. Like, he's going to have to do a lot to redeem himself. But, you know, to me, he did redeem himself. But he goes to a birthday party of his friend's girlfriend, and her best friend catches his eye, and he puts on all the moves, and she's like, no. And so, obviously, he starts to become really, not obsessed, but like, she's the only woman to ever say no to him. So he starts the chase, eventually, like, come around to the idea that actually he does really like her, and that it's not just like he wants her to say yes, but he wants to be with her. And yeah, Olivia is a high school PE teacher, which is such an interesting place to be. Like, it's so funny watching her deal with the kids. And I actually really enjoyed this. Like, is it the best written thing? No. Is it the best written romance? Or is it the best? Not even the best. That's not what I mean. Is it my favourite kind of romance? Not necessarily, because he really does get, like, really got on my nerves. I did not like Carter at all, but he does redeem himself by the end. Like, he goes from being, like, the number one fuckboy to a one-woman man, and he is, like, obsessed with her. He is obsessed with his partner, and like thinks the sun shines at her backside, like that sort of obsessive love, but not like creepy obsessive love. That sounded wrong. Anyway, overall, I enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying the rest of the series as well. And then I read Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. This is Lisa's pick for me for my 12 and 12, and I love this. Like, I think I'm starting to enjoy second chance romance, but a very specific kind of second chance romance. So this is a couple who are already established, who are already married, who have been together for years, and something is not right in their marriage. And they need to, like, she just decides at the start of this, she's like, I'm done. I've tried everything, I'm out. And that's the kind of kick up the arse he needs to realise that things aren't working like how he thinks his job is to provide. If he can do that, that is what he needs to do. He doesn't realise the emotional side of it that he is lacking in, but it's also not from like him not wanting to be like that. It's just that he's got a lot of baggage and trauma that is causing him to be like this. So they have a lot of work to do, both of them, because she's never stood up for herself. She's let this go, just let it happen. And he's just like, she's never complained, so he's never changed, and he's never changed because she's never complained. So he just thinks she's happy. Like, they just need to get their shit together. And yeah, I love these characters. I thought these characters were great. I think the conversations had in here were great. I think the fact that the friends were behind them the whole time, like, even to the point where his friends were like, you might just need to let this go. Like, you might just need to walk away, because if she's not happy, why would you want to trap her like that? Like, these characters, I love them so much. Tessa Bailey does excellent books. Like, she has two types of books. There's the funny, unserious ones that are just like, you know, like, I don't know, like the like I say, not serious ones. And then there's books like this where she looks at topics in such a good way, and this was one of those. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. Then I read Enemies with Benefits. This is another one. So once I DNF'd my first pick from my Kindle jar, I picked another one, and this is what I ended up picking. And it is, I can't really remember much now. No, this is the one that was like the wake-up call. Kind of. Again, it's set in a hotel. So these two characters, they hate each other, and he starts working at her hotel event space. And at first they try and sabotage each other, because there's a bonus for like the MVP of the year, basically. And they're like both like, well, I'm going to get it. So they start like sabotaging each other, and they start like working against each other. And then they realise something's going on, because he actually really likes her, like he really fancies her, but she hates him. Like, she wants to strip his skin off. And they end up kind of helping each other, because there's somebody else who's trying to sabotage them both, and they want to find out who is doing that. But then they also start up a enemies with benefits relationship, because they're both horny. Like, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what it is. And of course, they end up falling for each other because it's a romance. I actually really enjoyed it while I was reading it. I just think it needs, for me, if it had been passed over, like glanced over by an editor and tweaks made, this could have been excellent. But there was just a few things that didn't quite click for me, which is just unfortunate. I'm not having the greatest time with ebooks at the moment, so it may just be that I read it through ebook format. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't think it was a bad book, but was it my favourite romance? No. Then I read Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. Me and my voice today, we're not working. So Dating Dr. Dill is a Taming of the Shrew retelling. So we've got our main female character who is the oldest daughter in a 2-daughter Indian family, a Desi family. And her sister's getting married, and so the aunties and her dad are like, why are you not getting married? And her gran, they're like, why are you not getting married? She's younger than you, this is embarrassing. And the aunties are like, we will find you a husband. And she's like, please don't. And they're like, we will find you a husband. And she's like, please don't. I love the aunties. The aunties and Desi stories are what make the story. The aunties, just wonderful. I love the aunties. Anyway. And then we have Dr. Dill. Dr. Dill, who is a cardiothoracic surgeon, or a cardiothoracic doctor. I can't remember exactly. And he runs a show that talks about like heart health and stuff like that. And he is trying to open his own practice so that he can look after the Desi community and other people of colour in his community, because realistically, in reality, not just in the book, but people of colour are treated less well. That got away from me. The medical treatment for people of colour is not as good as it is for white people. Just as standard, there are things that are overlooked, there are things that are missed, even down to the fact that certain things like rashes, for example, and skin cancer show up differently on like my pasty ass white skin and people with darker skin. And so he wants to dedicate himself to giving correct, proper, good quality treatment to the people of his community. And he needs money to do that, which is why he's in this show. But his mum has offered him a lot of money if he gets married. And so these two have a run-in where she yells at him on TV. I can't remember why. She meets him first, and he abandons her. He abandons her in a really awkward situation. And when she sees him again, she yells at him, but unfortunately the cameras are rolling. But then they end up in this arrangement where he's like, let's get fake married. And she's like, no. And he's like, but you'll get the house, because she's trying to buy her house, because her dad's away to sell the house that she grew up in, the house that her mum loved, and her mum is now dead, so that he can move to like Florida or something, and her grand's going to move back to India. And she's like, you cannot sell this house, let me buy the house. But she doesn't have the money for it. So she needs the money for the house, he needs the money for the clinic, and he's like, we can help each other. And she's like, absolutely not. No way. And it's funny because the whole way through she's like, no, absolutely not, we're not. And he continuously tries to persuade her. I love this. I really, really love this book. I have heard so many things about this where people just don't like it, but I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. It was an absolute ride of a book. Like, it was so reminiscent of something like 10 Things I Hate About You, to the point where I had to go watch 10 Things I Hate About You because it reminded me of it so much, because 10 Things I Hate About You is also a Taming of the Shrew retelling. I think that might be one of my favourite Shakespeare's. I've never read it, although apparently the Shakespeare one is a lot darker, which it would be because it's Shakespeare. But I think Nisha Sharma has done a great job of mixing Desi with Shakespeare and just making it like Bollywood meets Shakespeare. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. For me, I thought it was great, and I am really looking forward to the second book, but my brain doesn't want to get the second book because the cover doesn't match this book, and that's so stupid, but my wee brain can't deal with it. But yeah, I personally, if you like 10 Things I Hate About You, and you love something like Dial A for Aunties, you will love this. I genuinely think you will love it. There is, again, people don't like it because he has a particular name for his penis, but how many romance, like, it's not even that bad. He says it like once or twice, and he never says it during like, so yeah, it's not that bad. And on that subject of what I was just talking about, I also read Disability Intimacy. I bet you were wondering where that was going. This is a collection of essays edited by Alice Wong and collected by Alice Wong. So this is a series of essays by disabled people about different types of intimacy. Now, when I say intimacy, you will immediately think of things like sex. And sex is not the only form of intimacy. This talks about intimacy with yourself. So some people did photo shoots to do with their disability, to get more in touch with themselves, to show other people that being disabled doesn't mean you're not human. Yes, it does deal with things like sex. It does deal with the fact that a lot of disabled people are infantilized and are seen as sexist beings because of their disability, despite the fact that they have like the same... Oh, I almost slipped there. Despite the fact that they have like the same brain. It's just in a disabled body. And so much more. Talks about caregiving and how intimate that is, because you're literally in someone's personal space. Like, I love this. This collection was absolutely stunning. Like, there are amazing people in here who have written incredible essays. I can't even show you the photos, because a lot of the photos are not necessarily photos that can go online, if you know what I mean. But yeah, they're beautiful nonetheless. Like, this is actually an okay one. And like, talking about, he's got really bad scoliosis. It's like the curve of his back. Just showing that it can be beautiful rather than it being something to like be repulsed by, which a lot of the time a lot of physical disabilities are repulsive to normal people, to the normies, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, it's not. Anyway, this is, if you're interested at all in disability activism or anything like that, Alice Wong's essay collection, so this one and Disability Visibility, are absolutely fantastic, and I would definitely give them a read. And then I got an ARC of and read The Lady of the Lake by Dr. Jean Mingus. And Jean is a YouTuber. I will tag her channel down below. Or I'll link her channel down below. I feel like it'd be rude to tag her when I'm reviewing her book. Although I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So Lady of the Lake is about, as you can imagine, the Lady of the Lake from the Arthurian legends. Now in this, she is Scottish, the Lady of the Lake, and she comes down to, I'm assuming, Wales, to be a possible... She's a companion and possible wife for Arthur. And when she's there, she meets Morgan and discovers that she's a little bit more interested in Morgan than she is in Arthur. It's a sapphic Arthurian retelling with the Lady of the Lake, and Morgan is... I don't know if I said Morgana the first time. Morgana's the one in like BBC Merlin. Morgan is the name of the actual character. So the Lady of the Lake, Vivienne? I have a mind like a... I watched a video about Arthurian legend the other day, like yesterday, and there are so many, there's like 3 different names for the Lady of the Lake, so I may have mixed one of them up with her name. Anyway, she has these water powers, but she doesn't really know the extent of them. And she ends up kind of working, her and Morgan end up working with Merlin, who is more like the Merlin from the actual myths and legends than the Merlin we see on like BBC's Merlin. So he is a sleazeball, I'm not gonna lie. And Guinevere is also there. She is again another option for Arthur's wife. And yeah, it's just kind of them growing up together, like as from like young teens into adulthood, and her finding her powers in herself and her power as a woman and someone who has influence. And then there's like the legend. I think it's a mixed legend because I don't know Arthurian legend well enough to know how it's based, but I love the characters, I love the setting, I love the writing, I love the book in whole. Like, the way Jean writes is so vivid. Like, I don't have an internal, like, being able to see thing, but this is one of the ones where it was so close to being, like, able to see and understand. Like, I could understand the way rooms functioned and understand the way things went. Like, it was gorgeous writing. I love Jean's writing, and I think she's done a fantastic job of doing this retelling, because it doesn't focus on... It follows the Arthur myth, it follows the Arthur legend and the story, but it really does refocus onto the Lady of the Lake and before she's the Lady of the Lake. And it just... Sapphic, Lady of the Lake, Arthurian legend. retelling with excellent writing. It's not out yet. I don't know if it'll be out by the time you see this. I don't think so. If I remember, I will put the date that it comes out there, but it is definitely worth a read if you like light-hearted medieval fantasy. Not light-hearted in the sense that like it's happy, but like light-hearted in that like the fantastical elements are not too in your face. Yeah, anyway, loved it. And then I read A Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I don't know whether to tell Becca to skip this bit or not. You're given the option, Becca, if you want to skip this, go ahead and skip it. It wasn't a bad book. I'm not saying it's a bad book, I just want to say that first of all. I enjoyed it, but I think this suffered a lot with the not expectation, but there have been so much with people blowing up online about the kink element in this, which, by the way, is in a Dear Reader section at the front. It tells you that it explores this, and so you shouldn't be shocked. If you're not going to read the trigger warnings, don't get upset about them, is all I have to say. For me, I personally didn't think it was... I don't really know anything about kink, like, other than probably the most basic knowledge and BDSM, but to me, I don't know if it's because I don't know anything, I don't know if I read something different, if I need to reread it, but to me this was Ali Hazelwood's weakest book. The characters did not communicate. The characters did not communicate to my liking at all. They didn't communicate when it came to the regular stuff, they didn't communicate when it came to the kink stuff. There was no sign of like aftercare. Like a lot of the stuff that I feel like should have been in the book wasn't in the book for me. Like the male main character, I can tell you he has brothers and a dad, and he's no, he's not a diver, that's a lie. He's a swimmer. And other than that, he's like a friggin' cardboard cut. He doesn't speak, he doesn't like, I don't think you even get his point of view. I think it's all from the main character. The main character is a diver, and one of her diver buddies, like one of her diver teammates, has a boyfriend, and Penelope, who's the girl that like has the boyfriend, I don't even remember the main character's name. Scarlett. So Scarlett is on the dive team with Penelope. Penelope has a boyfriend named Lucas. Penelope doesn't like how kinky Lucas is, so Lucas is like, cool, we don't need to do any of that. I'm happy just to be not doing stuff like that. But Penelope's like, I don't think that's right for both of us, because you should always be getting what you want as well as me getting what I want, which is fair. So Penelope and Lucas break up, and then Penelope's like, Scarlett, you're into the same stuff he is, you two should be together. And honestly, in a way that's like not cool. Like, this book was the Penelope show. This book was entirely about Penelope. Like, the whole time Scarlett's only thinking about Penelope. Like, it frustrated me to no end how hung up she was on Penelope, to the point where she was so hung up on worrying about Penelope while having interactions with Penelope's ex-boyfriend, to the point where I think that she should not have been, because she was not in a headspace to be consenting to anything. Like, that is just me. I don't think, from reading this, I would not have touched her. Like, if I was her partner, I wouldn't have touched her. Like, I wouldn't have touched her with a 10-foot barge pole, because she needed to work on stuff before anything happened. Like, there needed to be a lot more conversation, there needed to be a lot more communication. I just think this did not live up to what I expected from Ali Hazelwood. Like, at one point, he literally hugs her, and she's like, oh, why did you do that? And he's like, oh, you just looked like you needed to be touched. Not that you needed to be hugged. Not that you needed some reassurance. Not anything. You needed to be touched. That, I don't... Maybe it's because I don't like being touched without, like... If someone just walked up and hugged me, I'd be like, what are you doing? And in my opinion, at this point in the book, he does not know her well enough to know that. Like, maybe like in the intrinsic, we are soulmates kind of way. But like, if we're talking about a book that's supposed to lean into kink, communication and consent need to be at the top of that. And I do not feel like this book had that. Not in a way where it got like, but just like, this was a book that had smut in it. And there was a backstory of the dive. The diving was actually really interesting. Like, I don't know, I just think this was the weakest of Ali Hazelwood's books. I still enjoyed it, but I feel like I would have made I don't know. I don't know. It was my least favourite. Next is a Dream Girl drama. I've been looking forward to this book for so long. I had expectations, and it blew those expectations out of the water. Like, this, again, like one of the other ones I was talking about, Unloved, this didn't just start where, like, I thought it was going to just continue on from the last book, The Au Pair Affair, but no, it went right back to when these guys met, and oh my god, I love this. This is a taboo romance. I don't see it as a taboo, like, me personally, I don't think it's a taboo. So they are soon to be step siblings. So her mum is marrying his dad. Now, he is, until recently, estranged from his dad, and her mum is insanely controlling. She literally, like, makes her, like, she puppets her with money. Like, that's that sort of thing. It almost reminded me, there's another book, Hook, Line and Sinker. No, It Happened One Summer. She reminded me of the girl from It Happened One Summer with the whole, like, money thing. But they meet before they know their parents are engaged or even together, and they sort of have a moment, kind of fall for each other. Like, he refers to her as his dream girl. Like, they have this moment before they even know their parents are together, and then they find out their parents are together, and they're like, okay, then, like, no, we're not. This is not happening. Then, if we're going to be related, that's not happening. But obviously, they end up. She moves out, and he sort of looks after her, like, because she doesn't. Her mum's not backing her up, so he backs her up, and they become really. They become the person each other leans on, and obviously fall in love, it's romance, blah blah blah. But these characters, like, I love these characters together. The only thing stopping them from being together literally was the fact that their parents were getting married. They're both adults. They're both in their 30s. Like, late 20s, early 30s, when their parents get together. And they meet each other before their parents get together. I don't see that as, like, I don't know. Some people might think that's, like, oh, you can't date your... But I don't care. I didn't see the taboo in it. But, yeah, they want to keep each other apart, but obviously, like, that doesn't work. But, yeah, I love this. I love this so, so much. It covered some of the things that happened in the Au Pair Affair. And you get to see Chloe in such a different way, because she's seen in the other ones as, like, being really vapid. But she's actually, like, she's a harp prodigy, and she's got the biggest heart, but she's so naive and so unworldly, as it were. And she really, like, in this book, she really does put the work in to be like, I'm not going to be that girl anymore. I want to know how to pay my own bills. I want to know how to look after myself, cook for myself. Like, I'm going to be independent. I'm not going to lean on anybody. And I really, really appreciate the character of Chloe in this, because she really does just, like, she's like, no, I'm going to be my own woman. And his name, I cannot remember, Sig. Sig is like, I'm going to support you. Thank you. Sig is like, I'm going to support you, but I'm also going to let you do what you need to do. So yeah, I love these. I am really enjoying this series. This is not the last one. It was meant to be the last one, but she's just announced a new one, and I'm so excited. Next, I finished a series with Finn Rose Forever. This is Stephanie Archer's Queen's Cove series. So this is book 4 of 4. And funnily enough, this is the book I picked up the series for, and this is the book I thought I was going to like the least once I started reading them. But this is a childhood friends to enemies to lovers story. So Finn and Olivia, her name's not on the back, I think it's Olivia, were best friends from childhood. Like, they were joined at the hip. They, you know, everybody thought, oh, they're going to end up together, blah, blah, blah. But then something happens and Finn breaks her trust, and from that day on she hates him. And they kind of, like, he comes back to Queen's Cove when she's away at school, and she comes back when he's away fighting fires, because he's a firefighter and he fights wildfires in Canada. And he decides he's coming back for good. Like, he is homesick, he misses his family, he misses Olivia. And so he comes back, and when she finds out he's staying, she's like, no. Just no. Absolutely not. No. He's going to just abandon everything again, like he always does. And Olivia at the same time is trying to do her PhD. So she is doing her PhD on this rare flower that everybody keeps telling her is extinct. But she is sure that she and Finn saw this when they were younger. And so she is hiking through these mountains trying to find the flower. And when something goes wrong and she gets stuck out and the rescue have to come for her again, She is told she will not be allowed to do hiking unless she has a buddy. And who asks to be her buddy? Who volunteers but Finn? And so they spend a lot of time together, and he is determined he is going to win her trust back. He's going to find a way to get back in her good graces and fix everything that happened before. And you know what? I actually, it was a good twist. Not twist, it was a good... sometimes when somebody breaks someone's trust and then it's just no, I don't, that's it. Even I won't, for me, the character's done, cooked. But this one actually made sense. The way it was done, it kind of all tied together nicely. And I love this. I love being able to see the characters from the previous ones even. And it was just all over a good tie-up to a series. I love Stephanie Archer's writing. She's just got this way of writing people and nature. And yeah, I'm so happy. And the last book I read in the month of February was The Study of Poisons by Maria V. Snyder. This is the book for our... I'm so confused. The months now. February or March? I don't remember. I think March was the live show, or meant to be the live show. This is the next book in the read-along for this series, and I can't believe we're almost finished. We've got this, Study of Magic and Study of Fire left. That's it. And we're done. We are done. That's their 13 books? I want to say 30 books that we've read. Oh my god, we've been doing this for over a year. Or will have been. Wow, that's wild. That is wild. So this is the first book in the series, The Study of Poisons is the first book, which is Poison Study, but from Valak's point of view. Because it's not a multi-POV, it's just a point of view from Yelena. And so this goes back and tells you what was going through Valak's head, what was happening, what Valak was doing while Yelena was on her adventure. And so I feel like this has a big jump in it. So he goes from being she's a prisoner to in love. He falls, and he falls hard very, very quickly for Yelena. I wish there was a little bit more of a build up to his feelings. Yes, we know that he loves Yelena by the end of we know, we get there. But for me, the transition into him falling for her just jumped in too quickly. I'm getting on much, much better with the Study of Magic, but the actual romance part of this just went a little bit too fast for me. However, the rest of it I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed getting to see the Power Twins. I enjoyed getting to see his conversations with Ambrose, and just all the bits that we get to find out about Valak and how his mind works. He is so paranoid. He is paranoid about everything. He thinks everybody's in danger, but he is an assassin, so, that makes sense. All in all, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm so sad that we're almost finished. There we go. Those are the books I read in the month of February. I will say now, I'm not going to have a March TBR because I'm already 24 days into March, so I feel like that would be redundant. But I will have a March wrap up, hopefully sooner than this one gets put up. I don't even know, it's the 24th today. We'll see when this gets edited and put up. I do have the week off work though, because, like I said, I dislocated my knee. And so I'm waiting for an appointment with, I've already seen, I went to minor injuries and they put a splint on my leg, not on my knee, on my leg. It goes from my hip to my ankle. And I've got to wear that, so I can't drive, I can't walk around, I can't put weight on my leg. So I'm kind of stuck in the house. I've been using that time to read. Last week I was off as well because it was last week I injured it, but we kind of agreed at work that they think it's best if I stay off until I see ortho. I've got to see an orthopaedic surgeon because my knees keep dislocating. Even though it's ADS related, they still want me to see ortho. So I will be seeing ortho next week, and yeah, so I'll be off work until at least then. So hopefully I'll have the time to sit and edit this. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to let me know if you've read any of these books or want to discuss books in general, please do leave me a comment down below. If you want to leave me an emoji for this one, leave some kind of flower emoji. 1, because we're going into spring, and 2, because plants are used a lot in poisons, so study of poison. If If you don't want to do it, fair enough. But those are your choices. I don't know. I've forgotten how to do this. I'm going to go before I talk myself into a hole again. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.